welcome to Super Report Reviews. My name is Steve, and today I'll be going over this fancy schmancy Bandai vinyl Zetton that's actually a custom figure. You guys can see the card on the back. It's an Ultra Monster series. Number 3. I only have a few of the actual Ultra Monster series in my collection, but I was contacted by Chris Wu to do this figure for MMC Studios. If you guys don't know who that is, there will be a link in the description for their Facebook page, but they make custom Bandai vinyls, specifically Ultramans. Just to let you guys know, this guy will generally run you about 50 bucks for them, but that includes shipping, like getting it to your house. And then we're gonna, in this video, go over everything that is a part of this custom and the work that they put into it. If you guys don't know who this is a pretty straightforward Ultraman villain. It's been here since pretty much the beginning. I forget which episode, but it does appear in the original Ultimate series. And quite a few there on out. I actually have quite a few versions of this guy in my collection as well, with like the figure arts, the Kaiju Girls, figures like that. But I didn't have a Bandai vinyl, so already pretty sweet to begin with. And then this one's all fancy schmancy. So we're just going to get into it. So this will be a fun little different review. Again, this is popping up on Super because as a request, get stuff sent to us. It's going to go on the bigger channel. Anyways, without further ado, again, go over its packaging slash card here. It's got a nice image of Zetton on the front, and you kind of get an idea of what this custom is trying to replicate, which is pretty freaking sweet. But you have the Subaraya logo on the bottom. When you open it up, this one's actually blank on the inside, but on the back, just some Lego Mumbo Jumbo. Anyways, we're just going to get into this, and the first thing I appreciate is that it actually came with the card on it, which is something I wouldn't expect for the custom to have. This does ship from China, so sometimes like when you get stuff from there, at least like if you're like ordering like, say like a bootleg or something off eBay, it just kind of comes like stock the way it is. But this one in particular is straight up legit because it has the card, everything attached to it. And it's kind of nice to see that like this is a custom of an actual authentic figure for starters. But I am going to pop this off because it's going to be kind of weird to do the photos with this thing attached. I will end up keeping the card. Not really sure, to be honest. I don't even know if it's important because this is a custom anyways. So in terms of Zetton's values, it's kind of whatever, you know. So for starters, we're going to go with a base point for this review because essentially what this review is trying to see if this is actually worth about 50 bucks for me in shipping. I guess we'll start with the baseline, which is how much the figure would have cost to pick up. So if you wanted to buy just a standard figure for yourself, it would run you, looking at eBay, about 15 bucks. Maybe you can save a little bit, but you're going to be paying shipping anyways. On average, I'd say about 15, especially at like a convention, like say at G-Fest. This guy would probably be like somewhere between 15, 20 bucks, I'd imagine, for one of these. Probably 15. I'm going to say 15 is probably a solid price for this guy. So if you're going to be acquiring one, we're knock 15 bucks out the price tag anyways. So we're going to try to figure out if this is worth about paying 35 extra bucks, plus you got to figure you got to include shipping. So we'll knock off about another 10 if I'm going by like shipping prices from Japan, stuff like that. So 25 bucks now. But anyways, as you guys can see for the initial detailing, looks pretty much like the Bandai vinyl if you were to acquire one. Again, I'm kind of sad. You will notice there's a switch there. We'll get to that in a minute. But for the most part, it looks exactly the same. Detailing wise, figure looks actually pretty solid for a vinyl. It's got a lot of nice molded detailing here, especially for the antennas on the top. You got the yellow on the front, which is actually plastic. It's not the traditional vinyl for the figure, which is really cool. And it's got like a little bit like a harder texture, but like the way the detailing is on it, it still kind of matches the vinyl nicely. And then you got some detailing around the neck section here for the separation of where like the hood would have popped onto the top of the outfit. Get some bumps here for the back of its little beetle penguin sort of shell. But the figure is in a jet black, arms outstretched outward. There is a little bit of articulation for the arms here. Nothing too crazy. Like he's gonna be doing a waddle on your shelf the entire time. I guess you could say you have some waist articulation. Not really, though. Not for this one in particular. I don't recommend twisting this thing around. You're going to have some bad times if you do decide to pick this one up for yourself. For the legs, look really nice as well. And I like how like the vinyl still like conveys a lot of the suit wrinkles and stuff, which makes it stand out really well. Real quick, just grabbing the figure arts version. Not too much of a difference. Like you can see, like the antennas stick out a little bit more on the figure arts version. The chest pieces look more or less the same, but like detailing wise, it's not too far off. You can see there's a little bit more paint on the back of it. Like there's more of a curvature on the tail section here. And the arms are a little bit more of a white, while this is more of like metallic gray. But outside of that, then it's a little bit taller. But still, like for vinyl wise, works pretty well. I actually have a Ultraman from the same line, so you guys can see. Also, where the figure arts one went. Also got the figure arts one here too. I probably should actually get him standing up, but isn't too much taller. Like especially if you crouch him into his poses. This would actually make a serviceable Zetton for you if you guys weren't able to pick up the original one, and you maybe want something a little fancy to go along with it. Scale wise, isn't too bad. Now, what makes this guy fancy is, for starters, the way it looks like they did this custom to me is they popped out this section here, and you can see there's wires. It's wires. There's some kind of looks like I guess it's plastic over top of some of the important pieces. Got a battery pack down here, some speakers down there, and up here we got some wiring for the lights. Because yes, this lights up. And you can see where they did the plastic on the inside to replace the chest section for the Zetton here. But it does. What's nice too is that the way they set up the wires, it doesn't really hinder the articulation much for the arms anyway, so you can still pose it a bit. But it does have some innards, so when closing it up, just want to be a little bit careful. See how hard it is to get this battery pack out. Actually pretty simple, which is nice to see. But yeah, you guys can get a nice look at the speaker down there. This one takes 3 watch batteries in particular. Convenient thing too is they actually sent me extra watch batteries with it, but just tuck that back in there. Make sure we're gonna put this back on correctly. So we got rotate Zetton just a little bit, take it slow, putting them back together. Maybe. Here, there we go. Got him back on. So, the switch here, he's currently in the off position. When you flick it on, that's super cool. One thing I will say that as a negative is I wish this was maybe blended in with the back a little bit more, like maybe like a push button would be a little bit better than the switch. Then again, this might be just a little bit easier to set up in terms of just like hooking up into a figure. So it's not distracting. It's not like you're gonna pose on your shelf like that anyways. Like you want to see the lights, so whatever's on the back is sort of irrelevant. But I think a button wouldn't be quite as noticeable. But yeah. I love that it has sound effects for starters that replicates the ton. And then it's just like, turn off the lights. The face even pulsates. That is awesome. Like, I don't have a Zetton that does this. I easily don't have a Zetton that does this. Especially if it's illuminating eyes. It's awesome. And that's a lot of work to get this all set up. Like, you have to cut these out good to make it look right. And from what I can tell, like, that looks spot on. This, like, maybe, like, slightly exposed right there. Like, that side looks fine. Like, this looks, like, if you would have, like, if I would have picked this up originally, I just thought this would have been a Bandai vinyl. Wouldn't even thought nothing out. Which is say something for, the craftsmanship put into it just in order to make it look right. Because making customs is not the easiest thing. Like I've done it. Like if you check out the Geek Chest, we got customs over there. But did a pretty stellar job. Especially you got to figure, because again, like shipping is gonna run about, it's like $10, and then like this figure would have cost like 15-ish per se, maybe a little bit cheaper for them to acquire, but even for you to acquire, it's like 15. So you're already like $25. So for an extra $25, you get lights and sounds. And that's pretty inexpensive, to say the least. And here we have the custom Ultra Monster series Zetton compared next to some other monsters, well specifically SH Figure Arts and SH Monsters figures of the Godzilla 2014 and Ultraman. And here is next to some other Ultraman vinyls with the Blade manga. I had to look that one up, from Ultraman X, and the Ultraman from the same line. And here is some other Zettons in my collection with the SH Figure Arts Zetton and the Plex Ultra Kaiju personification figure. Kaiju girl, if you will. Hey, here's some other random Ultraman figures in my collection with the Ultra Act Ultraman Zero and the SH Figure Arts Ultraman Belial. And because these are essentially the new hotness as of right now, here he is with the NECA Godzilla King of the Monsters Godzilla and Mothra review coming soon. Also, this Godzilla's been slightly modified as well. Touched up the tail a little bit to match the rest of the body, and also fixed the eye problem on this one in particular. And also the paint slap, because this one had a lot of excess paint for the teeth, so we trimmed that down a bit. Everything else pretty much left the same though. So overall for the custom Bandai Ultra Monster series Zetton, this thing is actually pretty awesome. It's kind of like having a little mini Rick now, with the lights and sounds, and overall, like even with it being a Bandai vinyl, it's got a lot of really nice details, so it's really actually a good piece to be doing customs with anyways. So for like the $50 price tag and how much work is really put into this thing, I can't like recommend this thing to you enough. Like I charge like 30 to $50 to paint dinosaurs, and like this thing got lights and sounds with it, plus covers your shipping. Like you can't really go wrong. So if you guys are interested in Zetton, or if you guys are looking to get commissions done for yourselves, make sure again to follow the link in the description below for MMC Studios. They do a lot of lights and custom stuff for SH Figure Arts, the Bandai vinyls in particular, X Pluses, like you name it, they'll put lights and sounds in it for you. It's more or less easier if they can get a hold of it than you sending them figures, because then that's going to up the charge a little bit. But you can definitely get with them, see what they can do for you. Also make sure to go like their page, because there's actually a lot of really cool stuff on there, like that SH Figure Arts Belial. It's definitely got my interest. But what do you guys think? Have you guys ever done a custom? What kind of figure would you like to get customized, or standard stuff? Just what you think. Please let us know in the comments. We also have an Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, and Facebook if you guys like to keep up to date with the channel and donate. Make sure to follow those down in the link in the description as well. We also have a teacher shop. And let's defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button, subscribe to become a Ranger today. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.